What's up, everybody? Nintendo here, and today we're going to do a quick talk about Super Nintendo versus Super Famicom. Both were made by Nintendo, and yes, it is technically the same machine. Now, one was released in America. That's the Super Nintendo. That's this bad boy right here. There are two different models, but this is the one everyone recognizes. And then in Japan, they had the Super Famicom. Now, this also looks like the PAL version, the version you would get in Europe. So, what are the differences between these two consoles? Well, to make it really simple, on the inside, absolutely nothing. As a matter of fact, I do repair consoles. You can see me working on a GameCube right here. I repair all my consoles. I refurbish everything before I sell it. But the insides of these are exactly the same. There are two different model insides, and they are interchangeable. So there's no hardware issue here. Can you play a Super Famicom game in a Super Nintendo? Yes, you can. In the Super Nintendo, if you lift this up, you'll see two plastic bits in the back there. Now, if you remove those two bits with a multi-tool, then you could put a Super Famicom cartridge in there and play Super Famicom and Super Nintendo games in your console. However, this is only a one-way street. The problem is, a Super Famicom cartridge is 3/8 of an inch narrower than a Super Nintendo cartridge, meaning a Super Famicom cartridge will fit in a Super Nintendo, but the opposite is not true. You cannot fit this in here. As you can see, it's a bit too long. I used to think that it was just this top plastic plate that kept that from happening, because you can feel a little lip there. And so I actually 3D printed and modeled this with the size of the Super Nintendo, but as it turns out, the plastic inside the casing here is actually too narrow as well, not allowing it. So it's deeper than just this little faceplate. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to with a way to overcome that just yet. There are pass-through cartridges you can get and stuff like that. A pass-through cartridge would basically just be a Game Genie will work. If you have a Super Famicom Game Genie, you can put that in there and stick a Super Nintendo game into it, because the chips are the same. There are also just straight pass-through cartridges you can buy from China. I believe they're about $20 each, and that'll go into either one of these and allow you to just stick the other games in there with no change to the system whatsoever. Basically, it's output pins on the bottom, but on the top it has input pins. So they're generally like half this thick, and that's all it is. You'll be able to put that in your Super Famicom and stick a Super Nintendo game on top of it and play it on there. But other than that, there's no real difference. The controllers are the same, except the Super Famicom controllers have more colors. You can't see it because of the green screen. The buttons are different colors on the Super Nintendo controller. The buttons are purple and gray, and it's just a rumor. I don't know if it's ever been confirmed that Nintendo did not use the multicolored Skittles button layout, as we like to call them, because they were afraid Americans would try to eat them, because you have your red, yellow, green, and blue. Also, Super Famicom controllers, even though they're interchangeable with Super Nintendo, the cords are a little bit shorter than the Super Nintendo cord. But it's the same case, just a different printing on it, and the colors of the button are different, but they are completely interchangeable. Almost every accessory is interchangeable. Now, the Super Famicom did have a modem. I just sold one today, and this modem and a special controller allowed you to bet on horse races. Now, there was a game cartridge that went with it, but it was not a game. You bet real money. This is pre-internet, it basically used the modem to dial up from your phone line to this horse betting place, and you could bet on horses. It's got a number pad. It's in the other room. I really should have brought it in here for this video, but I completely forgot. But yeah, that's it. Super Nintendo, Super Famicom on the inside are exactly the same machine. There is no difference on the inside. If you have a UN3 model, the board is different than the UN12. And on the Super Famicom, it's the same way. The only difference is that this would be a S1, whereas this would be a UN1. Well, this is a UN2, but UN1 and 2 is the same. And this one didn't have a S3, but the S2 is sometimes S3 model, one chip. So, that being said, thank you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll throw y'all some more gaming fun facts, because I know a couple things, and I'm happy to share them. Y'all have a great day.